What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is some Battlefield 3 Operation Metro, playing some Rush. Yes, I'm a moron who forgot to record the first part. And yeah, we're just jumping in here on the second base. And I'm going to be using the Assault Kit, the M416, and the 320 Smoke. And remember, kids, in the world of Battlefield 3, smoking is cool because, well, smoke is awesome. In the real world, don't try smoking. It'll give you cancer, you'll die, and you just look like a douchebag anymore. Anyways, that has nothing to do with anything, but let's get the show on the road here. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about spread and the foregrip and what we thought we knew and why that was wrong, as well as maybe a little bit of why objective modes are so awesome. But let me get into the objective modes first, straight off the bat here. You know, this gameplay, the score isn't too terribly impressive or anything, but I do end up dying a little bit during this game, but most of the time we're right on that objective, and that just ratchets up the intensity. And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, Battlefield 3 is such a slow game." Like, I play on console where there's 24 players and the maps are just so empty and it's boring. I end up being 3 and 5 by the time the Caspian border conquest match is over because I only saw 8 people the entire game. No. Not having it. Just not having it. Don't believe it. If you're doing it, you need to be on those objectives, man. It just makes things so much more fun. It just removes the whole stress from dying, if you ask me. When I die in Team Deathmatch, I get a little bit angry, but when I die in an objective mode, actually making progress, it's just like, okay, yeah, took a step forward, getting closer, it's okay, come back, do it again. So yeah, anyways, that's not my main topic today. I do want to talk about spread, which is something that is absolutely crucial. Obviously, if you didn't already know, hopefully you did know, every gun in Battlefield 3 is inaccurate to the sights. Where you're pointing is not necessarily where your bullets are going, regardless of bullet time, travel time, and bullet drop. That's a completely different story, but spread basically, you know, it's basically your shot grouping, I should say. That's the simplest and easiest way to explain it. But what it is, basically, the longer you fire your gun full auto, the more inaccurate you're going to be, even if your sight is still on the target. So what that means is, obviously, you want to be burst firing, because even though you think you should be hitting your target, you're not actually going to be hitting your target because your bullets are going to go flying everywhere, and you'll be shooting a 12-foot grouping, and it'll just be terrible and everything. And I'm waving my arms while I'm commentating here like a complete moron, doing the freaking crazy waving arms inflatable tube man dance. But alas. So basically, it forces you to fire in burst fire, and then there's the foregrip. And now why I bring this up is because the foregrip does increase spread now, which seems like an absolutely terrible thing. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I got less recoil, but my gun's more inaccurate, so really I'm not changing anything. However, what I'm finding out is somewhere, something, there's, I don't know, it's like something very, very minor has changed in the way that firing guns is most effective. Originally in Battlefield 3, it seemed like going full auto was pretty much the most effective way to do it. Then with the previous patch, and actually the patch before that, you know, I think the spread actually got bumped up a little bit. So what that did is basically made, you know, 5 to 6 round bursts the most effective way to shoot your gun, because past that, you know, there was just too much spread. It just wasn't effective enough, or you know, you're basically just wasting ammo because of bullets not registering and everything. Whereas in this patch, I don't know what it really is, because looking at the stats, it doesn't look like anything has actually changed in that regards. But it seems like firing in really short Bad Company 2-esque 2 to 3 round bursts has become the most effective way to shoot pretty much every single gun. Now, if you played Bad Company 2, you probably knew about this, or you didn't know about it, but you probably noticed it, but you didn't actually notice it. The way you wanted to fire a gun in that game was just the really quick, short, deliberate bursts, but are really quick, basically. You know, it kind of sounds like a little bit like you're going full auto, but you're not actually going full auto. You know, you're shooting, you know, 3 maybe 4 rounds off, and then there's a really quick burp of just like a break, and then you go back to firing again. Basically what that's doing is it's allowing the spread to reset, so your bullets get back accurate to where your sights are. Now the reason why I bring that up is because of, obviously, like I mentioned with the foregrip adding spread and burst firing being more effective, the shorter your burst, the less amount of spread you're going to end up having, the less important spread is the correct way I'm looking to say that. You know, if you want to just go and do a little quick test by yourself, take an LMG like this guy's doing right there and just drop 200 rounds out and look at where your sights are and look at where your bullets are going. A really long quote-unquote burst. Really inaccurate. Now if you obviously shoot, you know, 2 rounds, you're basically going to put basically 2 holes in the wall pretty close together. You know, your accuracy is going to be pretty darn good. Now why that doesn't matter with the foregrip is because obviously if you're firing really short bursts, that spread isn't going to really add up anyways. It's not a big effect at all when you're firing just really quickly. So it does seem like, oh hey, you know, the foregrip, bad spread, that's terrible. I don't want more spread. That's going to make me miss and everything. That's bad, man. We don't need that. The spread doesn't matter because you should already be burst firing anyways, and if anything, it's actually a good thing because it kind of makes you say, oh hey, I should be burst firing even more. I should be more aggressive in my bursting because, well, otherwise it's just not going to add up and I'm going to be all over the place. But how that relates to the LMGs is basically I've heard some people say, well, I don't like the bipod on the LMGs because I like the foregrip or whatever. I like staying on the run and everything, and the bipod just totally seems like the camper paradise attachment there or something. Which, you know, I can agree if you just, you know, simply don't like using the bipod or whatever. I mean, I really don't care for it either, but I do put it on the LMGs because it's the most effective attachment. But here's why. LMGs have the most spread in the game. So they automatically, if you want to hit stuff, you want to fire in short bursts when you're actually trying to shoot stuff, you know, and aim to be accurate, you know. The foregrip does not help with that. It doesn't remove spread. So basically, you still need to fire really short, quick bursts. So what have you changed? The foregrip is not going to change anything. You still need to do the really short, quick bursts to be accurate. So you might as well go ahead and take the bipod because it's not going to suddenly transform your, you know, your M60 from a, you know, gun with a cone of fire of about 16 feet to a gun with like 6-inch grouping. You know, the foregrip doesn't do that much. So use bipod on LMGs. The foregrip isn't totally terrible on assault rifles. Really quick, short bursts. It's super effective. It's for the win. Bye.